Hi everyone, welcome to tonight's live, which is going to be using brand new cat eye gels from Bluesky Cosmetics. I'm just going to wait for a couple of people to join and then we can get started. Once we get some people on the live, it'd be great if you could let me know if you can hear me. And if you can let me know if you can hear me, that'd be great. Hi, Nailed It by Bromley. Hi, Faye. Hi, great, so everybody can hear me, brilliant. So tonight we're going to go through some cat eye techniques and cat eye designs. Some real on-trend designs at the moment. Cat eye can be quite a scary product to use, but once you know how it works, it's really easy and the designs that you can create are unlimited. Creative freedom is great. So we're going to be using the new cat eye gels by Bluesky. So there's 18 different colours and variants of cat eyes that have been released recently, and they're honestly some of the best cat eyes that I've ever used. So I've created some designs here. So I've got these little strawberries, and if I move my hand out you can see the cat eye effect in the light, and they're really shiny. And I think these strawberry nails are super cute with it being Wimbledon and tennis season at the moment. I've also got these little watermelons. I mean, just look at that cat eye, the shine. I mean, it doesn't do justice on camera, but especially with this warm weather that we're having, I think cat eye is just the perfect way to spruce up any manicure. Hey Nicole. There's like a little butterfly wing effect here using a couple of different cat eyes. Again, when it catches the light, super shiny. I mean, look at the green underneath there. I keep seeing starfish nails all over my social media feeds. This is using two different cat eyes. Again, a super lovely effect. And then we've got a like kind of night sky star. And I mean, the cat eyes kind of just speak for themselves. This one shows up really well on camera. So while we're just waiting for a few more people to join before getting into the designs, I'm going to swatch a couple of the cat eyes and just teach you how to use cat eyes in general. So for a cat eye, you need a specific cat eye polish. And what cat eye polish is and why it's different to any other glitter or sparkle polish is that it's magnetic. So before curing, if you use a magnet, you can move the particles and create different designs. So the two magnets that, or one of the two magnets that Bluesky do is your more traditional grey magnet. So here we've got a square magnet on the back and then a round magnet on the front, and you can take this magnet out and switch it away because obviously magnets can attract or repel from each other if you're going to use two at once. Yes, you do need them all. They are stunning. And then they've got a newer magnet, which I personally think is a bit more stronger. So when you've got some weaker cat eyes or trying to do specific designs, for example at Valentine's, this love heart paperclip trend went viral, you do need a stronger magnet, and this new one from Bluesky is definitely this. And again, it's like a 2 magnet, very strong. As you can see, I'm struggling to pull it away, and you can use this to different designs as well. So we'll use a mixture of the 2 magnets. I'll swatch a couple of the colours and then we'll get into the designs. It's really warm, so it's not going to be too long. Probably lasts about half an hour to 40 minutes. So grab a cold drink and see what we're doing. Is everyone surviving the heat? Because it has been very warm today. So this one here is called Fiery Fuchsia, and it's a lovely, more like raspberry pink kind of shade. So you apply a base coat as normal, and then you can go in and paint them. As you can see, it just looks and applies like a normal polish. Yes, grab the Prosecco. So it's up to you. You can just cure this first colour, or you can already put the magnet on it, because you're going to do two, 3 coats of these colours anyway. The cat eyes are as hot as the weather, that is true. So I'm going to first of all use this magnet, and all you need to do is hold it near the polish. And hopefully you can see, as I'm moving this magnet, how the particles in the polish are moving, and you can make it dull and make it shiny. Make it dull and make it shiny. And it's really up to you where you can hold it. You can see how strong this magnet is, that as soon as you hover it near, it doesn't need to touch, you can reveal that high shine. And then you can push it away and you can just bring it back. And then as you move the nail, it creates that shining effect. So I'm going to pop that one into cure and then swatch a couple of others, and we'll get onto it. So this green one is one of my favourites, and this one is called a Matcha Dream. This is a sort of a different cat eye effect. Rather than it being sparkly, it's more shiny, and I feel like these ones are really on trend at the moment. So I'll just show you it in the bottle. And then we'll just swatch this one. So you can see this one looks more like a typical colour. There's less sparkle in it. It's more of a pearlescent shade. And I can show you with the other magnet how you can equally just create a design. You can see these ones really do shine when you put the magnet on them. I find that this little round magnet is good if you're kind of wanting to put that more traditional line across the nail. But with cat eye, it's really just about having a play. The only thing you can do wrong is putting it in the lamp. But you can see if you're using this more traditional magnet, you can kind of make the more line across the nail, which is deemed more as a traditional cat eye effect. So I'll do another coat on these ones and then we'll hop into the designs. So you can see it's come out of the lamp and you can see that light reflecting shine. I'm so glad that cat eye's come back to be a trend, because it is really something special, and it's not even something that's just sticking around at certain times of the year. It seems to be becoming more and more of a 365-day thing. So you can see that these cover really well in 2 coats. And again, just going to get that stronger magnet and just play around with it, revealing that shine. My cat eye effect, I kind of like it where the whole nail's shining and the whole nail goes dull. I think that looks really nice when the client's wearing it out and about. Please feel free if you've got any questions at any point just to pop them in the chat, and either myself or one of the Bluesky girls will get back to you. So you can see how that has such a stunning effect. We'll pop that one into the lamp. You just be careful when you work with the magnets though, because anything metal around you, so my lamp above my head, they just want to stick to it. And then we'll go with this lovely matcha green. So as I said, you don't have to use the magnet on the first coat, but I always feel like it helps add an extra shine to the effect. You can see how shiny they are before you even put a magnet onto them as well. You don't have to activate them. And there we go, and pop it straight back into the lamp. Are these HEMA free? So a lot of Bluesky formulas, in fact all their formulas now, are HEMA free. All the ingredients are on the back of the bottle, so you can check them for yourselves. So you can see these are now come out of the lamp. 2 very stunning shades, and you can just see how they catch the light so perfectly. You can see this one with the stronger magnet is more of a all over nail, than using the more square magnet you kind of have that line of light that follows up and down the nail. So we'll move on to the two designs. So first up, we'll do the strawberry and then we'll move on to the watermelon. I think these two designs are just apt for the weather we're having at the moment and great for your summer manicures. So for the strawberry, I'm going to first of all go in with Blazing Ruby. This is this lovely red glitter cat eye. And if you've got some more time at the end, I will demonstrate some of the swatches of the other shades. I mean, the pigment in this colour in itself is incredible. And they apply really nicely. Although I've been trying to keep these cool all day so they don't get too warm ready for the live. So I've got my first coat on, and then I'm going to grab my cat eye magnet, and this is how you can really activate the cat eye. I mean, just look at that. As soon as you hold this magnet near, you can make it all dull, and then you can bring back that shine. And then it's really, you just keep going until you're happy with it. I'll pop that one in the lamp. So in order to do the strawberry, all you're going to need is a green for the leaf and then a white for the dots. And all I'm going to use, along with the cat eye and the magnet, is Bluesky's BN002 liner brush. And the green that I'm going to use tonight is Mint Lime. This is one of the shades from Bluesky's 2025 Spring Summer collection. It's a really pretty pastel green for summer. It's been really popular. And the white that I'll be using is my favourite white, and this is CS61, which is Diamond White. So now that one's come out of the lamp, I'm going to add my second layer of cat eye. And then when I'm using the magnet, I'm going to really focus on activating towards the free edge of this nail, because that's where I want the shine to be, with the leaf going onto the top. So it's a really stunning red shade. Then I just grab the magnet. I'm going to focus it towards the free edge to make sure this is where I'm activating that shine. And you can see it there. So pop that into the lamp. When working with cat eye on clients, I always try to do a couple, like 1 or 2 nails at once, just so you're not interfering with the magnet as you're going across each nails. I find that's best to work on 1 or 2 nails, swap hands, while the other one's in the lamp curing. Has anyone got any questions at all? It is really satisfying to watch. It's always one of those that clients will see it on social media, they'll come in and ask for it, and then they'll be shocked at how you do it. It's very much like blooming gel and blossom gel and how that works. But it's something that's so simple yet so effective. If you're not someone who loves nail art, having something like cat eye can really add variant to what you can offer your clients. So now that one's cured, we're going to go ahead and add the leafy design on top. So I'm just coating my brush, not picking up too much product. I'm just going to start painting a reverse French around the cuticle cuff. This is a similar technique that we'll use for when we're doing the watermelon design. And then we're going to add triangles down at the bottom. To add that leaf design. Super easy yet super effective and very on trend. And then without adding too much more product onto your brush, you just want to fill in. What I love about these Blue Sky polishes is that they're so pigmented that you can just do nail art with them. There's no need for any extra gels or any extra products. You can just very easily use them in one coat. And once you're happy with that, you can pop that in the lamp, or you can, if you're feeling brave, you can head on to the final step, which is adding the little white dots for the seeds. And I always have this, is it white, is it black? And I can confirm they are like more of a white yellow kind of shade. And I'm again just going to use my liner brush. I don't want a dotting tool because I don't want them to be two uniform circles. It is going to be more like little splodges. So then just getting white onto my liner brush, I'm just going to lightly almost dot and drag down to give like more little teardrop shapes rather than dots. You can do this really rough. This sort of design would work on any sort of nail length, nail shape. I always love a good strawberry nail this time of year. And there we have it. So you can see the cat eye is still under there, giving the perfect base for that strawberry design. And you can see from every direction how that cat eye shines through. So I'll just pop that one in the lamp to cure without knocking my phone over, which is very helpful. Sorry about that, some minor technical difficulties. So the best way to finish any manicure and any nail art design is always by adding that top coat. It adds that final protection to your artwork and helps the manicures be long lasting. So today I'm going to be using the No Wipe top coat. I just find this top coat wears so nicely, helps prevent nails from staining and things like that. If I was doing more technical artwork that had quite a lot of layers in it, was quite raised, or I had a client that was a bit more heavy-handed, I do tend to use the tempered top coat. But with how warm it's been today, this one's going to be the easiest product to work with. So there we go, all out of the lamp. And we're just going to finish off with a nice top coat to help really make that cat eye pop. And there we have it, that is the first design. Pop that one into cure. I'm curing everything today in the Blue Sky lamp here. I'm curing everything for 30 seconds. So we'll move on to the watermelon design now, showcasing the cat eye that I did swatch earlier, which is the more raspberry pink shade. And this one has more of a kind of glow to it, whereas this one is more of a glitter. Super pretty. So the one I'm going to be using now is called Fiery Fuchsia. And again, going to start off with 2 coats of this to have the base of our watermelon design. I just love this shade. And then I'm going to grab my magnet and really make it glow. And because it's just the base layer, I'm going to pop that one into cure. And then just showing you the strawberry. So to do the watermelon, we're going to do 2 cuticle cuffs. So I'm going to do the green colour first, and the green shade for this one, I'm using a slightly darker green, and it's called Everyday Chic. I love this green. I use it so much for all my like flower stems and things like that. Before going in with diamond white as a second cuticle cuff, and then adding the seeds in the same technique but slightly bigger using Blackpool. So here we go, first coat out of the lamp. You can see I'm adding nice thin coats here, nothing too thick, and it's giving really good coverage. And again, grabbing the magnet. I mean, if you so wished, I mean, a bit difficult when using a tip, but you can use 2 magnets, and it's a bit difficult to show on camera, but you can see how they're interacting with each other, and you can do designs like this as well. Blackpool, the place and the polish is elite. It's one of the best black gel polishes. 52 bottles. I remember my collection was 52 bottles, and I used to think, wow, it's huge. And I now have over 300, and now I think, wow, that's excessive. Just gonna pop that one into cure. You can never have too many bottles of polishes. I mean, there's 18 of these cat eyes available, and I can equally find a home for all of them. So out of the 18 shades, I've got Fiery Fuchsia, which we've used on the watermelon design. I've got Blazing Ruby to use on the strawberry design. I have swatched the Matcha Dream. And then the other 3 here that are hiding in the back is Golden Nectar, which is this lovely like golden bronzy shade. I've got Crystal Cove, which is that blue shade used on the star design over here. And then we have got Rose Whisper, which hopefully we should have some time, and I will show you the starfish design. Probably best if you don't expose yourself counting the Bluesky collection. Yeah, we're all going to need like a help support group for our addiction. So you can see how this one is shining so much in the light, and honestly the camera never does cat eye justice. It is one of the hardest things to photograph. So I'm going to start off using that darker green shade again to do a cuticle cuff. And people always get worried about painting so close to the cuticle, but if you use a little bit of product and a liner brush, you don't even need a steady hand. And you could do the whiter shade first if you wanted before using the green, but you can always do the green and then neaten it up using the white a little bit further away from the cuticle. So just nice swooping motions, and it gives you that nice crisp edge. And whenever you're painting 2 colours next to each other, you need to make sure that you're curing in between. So cat eye, don't cure until you put your magnet on it, whereas if you're painting colours together, you definitely need to make sure that you have cured in between layers. So I'm just going to wipe my brush now and remove the green so there is no traces of the green when painting the white shade. I'm just using some of Bluesky's brush cleanser to do that on a lint-free wipe. Has anyone got any of the new cat eye shades? Or any favourites, or any that they've got their eyes on? So that's this one out of the lamp. I'm then going to use the diamond white again to do a thinner outline below the green. When I'm doing outlines, I like to start in the middle and go to one side wall and then start the other side wall to meet in the middle. And then just easing that up. Fiery fuchsia. I think that could be my favourite too. Yes, I've got many cat eyes from Bluesky, but I think these new ones, they just react to the magnet so well. Not that the other ones didn't do it nicely, but there's just something about these ones that are just so unique and glowy. And I think you'll sit there with them on your hands and just constantly be looking at them. Yeah, picking favourites is always difficult. So now I've added the green and the white, I'm going to go ahead and add the seeds. So the same technique as last time, using a liner brush rather than a dotting tool. But I'm going to pick up a little bit more polish on my brush and kind of just dabble until I'm happy with it. Again, creating more of these like teardrop shapes. I'm just going to add 3 like that. And then pop them into the lamp. So they're not like bubbled or anything. They're still quite thin, it's just that they're a little bit of a bigger dot. I'm going to pop that one into cure. While we're waiting for that one to cure, I'm going to have to show you this blue one because it just reacts to the magnet like nothing else. So again, this one's more like the green is more of a pearlescent cat eye. So it would look super pretty with or without activating it with the magnet. This one is called Crystal Cove. And just, you ready for it? Like just look how much that glows when you put a magnet near it. I mean, it's like you're actually shining a torch onto it rather than just activating a wet gel polish. Just look at that. Incredible. I mean, every time I bring a new one out, you're going to say it's your favourite because they're all equally as pretty. So again, we're going to add a top coat to this design, and then I'm going to show you something that you can do if you wanted to add a little bit of 3D. Add some water droplets onto your watermelon designs. So again, just adding a top coat like you would to any other nail, and it just helps lock in your design and add an extra shine to the nail, and pop that into cure. So yeah, we'll do a second coat of this blue one, but you can see it is so shiny. I think this one on toes would look really cool as well. I mean, it looks super shiny before you even add a magnet to it. And then here we go. I'm moving the magnet around a lot more than I would if I was doing the nails, but it's just so you guys can see how reactive they are on camera. And like you can, if you wanted to draw like more of a line on it, you can. You can make it dull, and you can make it back shiny again. Like honestly, it is mesmerising to watch. So if you were feeling fancy and wanted to add a little bit of 3D, more like water droplets to the nail, all you need to do is go back in with your no wipe top coat. And this time I would use a dotting tool. And you can just add some little dots on top to give that water droplet effect. And pop it in the lamp to cure, and then these will cure like 3D. You'll be able to see them on the nail, and you'll also be able to feel them once they're dry. So I just think that's something a little bit cool. I know 3D nails are everywhere at the moment as well. I think personally they would annoy me, but I think something like this where it's just a couple of bubbles on the nail, I think that'd be a super fun way to add something different to your nails this summer. So I'll just pop that into cure. And that's that blue one out of the lamp. I mean those together as a set would be someone who's feeling brave, but I can't choose a favourite. So we've still got some time. I'll go on to the third and final design. And I think I'm going to have to go for this starfish. Maybe a future nail mill. Maybe we need a blue, pink and green. So I'm going to use these two shades that we've not seen yet. Now I bring this pink out, everyone's going to be like, oh, the pink's my favourite. Because again, it is super pretty. And something a little bit more softer and subtle. It's not as a bright or bold of a colour. And probably something that people would wear a little bit more. You know, this shade of polish is really popular as a colour in itself. But then again, you can add the magnet to it. And you can really make it glow. So I'll use the, in case you haven't got the new magnet, I will show you with the older magnet. And you can still, it still works just as well. You know, you can create little designs with it. Or you can use the more square magnet. Or you can do more of like a, you want to leave a bit more of a French outline. But there is really no right or wrong way with magnets. It's just about playing around with it. We'll pop that one into cure. I'll just take the watermelon design out, and you can see now that it's got that like 3D effect to it. It's just something to add to it. But that cat eye underneath is absolutely stunning. Has anyone got any questions? I feel that once you know how to use cat eye and you know that it's pretty much foolproof, you can't really go too wrong with it. Just going to add a second coat with this pink. And again, just using that magnet to reveal that shine. Honestly, I could sit and do this all day. We'll pop that one in. So I've been seeing starfish nails everywhere at the moment, but I haven't actually seen any cat eye starfish, so I think we should start a new trend. On this one here, I've actually used the matcha green shade on top, but just so we can see all the shades in action, I'm going to use the bronzier shade tonight on top of the pink. So I'm just going to add this one onto my little nail art palette, ready to pick up and paint the starfish. And once it's out of the lamp, we'll be ready to go with our third and final design. And if anyone's got any questions or anything, you can always contact me. So I'm Emily, and I'm from Nailed by Emily, so you can find me nailed_by Emily. This is my logo for if anybody is struggling to find me. And I'll always be happy to answer any of your questions. So this one is now out of the lamp. And we're going to go in for that starfish. So when painting starfishes, I've seen so many different ways. I just go in for a star, but always kind of like round the edges off. So the way that I paint a star is that I start off by drawing an A. And then I kind of go across. You can see how you've got a bit of an A shape going on. And then all I do is join up the two diagonals. And you've got your star. And then you can follow it in. Fill it in and kind of round those edges off. And just make sure that if your diagonal lines are all joining up, then you won't lose that star shape. I always focus my product into the middle and then drag it out. So I'm just going to make sure I'm happy with all my diagonals. And then I can either leave it like that, or you can use the magnet again, and it's only going to touch the wet polish. All the dry polish is set, like it's not going to affect that. It's just going to affect the star that you've painted on top with. As you can see, it's super reactive to the magnet. Yeah, starfish are hard work, but I feel like because you're using the cat eye and it's a little bit more of a thicker consistency, it's a bit nicer to paint with than painting with like a glitter or even trying to do a chrome starfish, because I know that glitters, they kind of don't sit where you want them to sit, especially in this heat, that then starts to disperse within each other, whereas I feel like the cat eyes are really nice to work with. So when this cat eye comes out of the lamp, all we need to do to finish the starfish is add a couple of white dots, and I am going to be using a dotting tool for that. So here we have it. I'm just going to add those little dots. I'm going to start, and these are just really random. I always used to overthink nail art, but I think the more random you can be with it, the more effective that it looks. And I'm just using the smallest nail dotting tool out of the Bluesky trio. And there we go. Pop that back in the lamp, and there's a super easy starfish that's got a really glowy base, but also a really glowy starfish on it. I mean, there's so much you can do with cat eye. I've seen people do cat eye French manicures, which have looked really effective. Obviously, we've got some fruit designs going on here. I think a classic for any colour is adding your little starburst, like sun and moon designs on them. I've also seen people do like butterfly wings. And this is kind of like a more of a stained glass window butterfly wing. You can either just use the same base, or you could colour in a few of the segments with different polishes. There is so much you can do. But yeah, here are some of the shades in all their glory. So while I top coat the final design, if anyone's got any lasting questions or any other tips that they want to share with anybody, that would be great. And I really hope you've enjoyed the last 40 minutes or so talking all things cat eye, and hopefully you've learnt a thing or two, or if you've never tried cat eye before, maybe it's something that you're going to add to your next purchase. So there we go. Super pretty, super shiny, very on trend. I mean, we try to nail it, we try. So just waiting for that to cure, but for those who might have not been here all the way through, I am called Emily and my account is Nailed by Emily. I post a lot about Bluesky and I have a lot of Bluesky colours, but one of their latest collections are these new cat eyes. There's 18 different shades available, and today we've run through a couple of designs. So nice and on trend for summer. We've got a strawberry, a watermelon, and then a starfish. I'll try and get this live saved just in case anyone's missed it or if you come halfway through, so you can go back and watch it. But these are super shiny, and if you've not tried cat eye, or if you've tried cat eye before, these cat eyes are really, really something special, nice and shiny, and they're really easy to use. But don't forget, when you're doing cat eye, you're going to need a magnet. Bluesky do too here. You've got your more traditional square and round magnet, and they've got a newer, stronger magnet. And as I said, this one, you do struggle to pull it apart, it is so strong. And then make sure that you always use your magnet before putting the polish into the lamp. It needs to be wet. But yeah, I feel like the watermelon is a firm fave. I definitely love this fuchsia shade. It might have to be the next one on my nails. I know Yaz has got cat eye on at the moment, and they're making me think that I need to do it as well. So if no one's got any other questions, I think we'll leave it there tonight. You can always pop me a message or pop Bluesky a message, and we'd be more than happy to help. So thank you for watching, thank you for joining me, and I hope everyone survives the heat tonight.